The CBO report on the Senate health care bill has finally been released, and it is just as draconian, just as scary, I should say, as we expected it would be. The Senate Republicans' bill, and this is according to the CBO, would cause an estimated 22 million more Americans to be uninsured in the coming decade. 22 million. And so that now has colored discussion about the Senate healthcare bill, as it should. We're gonna break down some of the other numbers as well, but that's really the big one. And I don't know if it's not like the Republicans were out there sort of implying that things would be better, because they haven't been out there at all to talk about this bill. There's been almost no discussion, almost no interviews, aside from the few Republican senators who've come out at least presently against it. No one has had to defend this bill, really. And that seems absurd that we can potentially, the stereotypical, it's 1/6 of the economy that's gonna be modified, tens of millions of people will be thrown off their health insurance. And along the way, the Republicans don't have to take any questions. There will be almost no debate. And so we can break down some of the other numbers, but I am glad that the media is running with this, and hopefully there won't be a lot of people around the country who don't know this 22 million figure by the end of the day. Although I should point out, perhaps even scarier than the 22 million in a decade is the 15 million in 1 year who are gonna lose health insurance, which, as I pointed out on Twitter, is basically for the next year, every month 1 million people will be thrown off their health insurance leading up to the midterm elections. So that's terrible for those people and their families, but also probably the Republicans, who are gonna have a lot of pissed off people come 2018.
But their donors are screaming, get it done and get it done quick. And by the way, make it more draconian. Not good enough. We want more people thrown off of healthcare. It's not a hyperbole. They're saying this is too moderate a bill. So 22 million people losing their insurance, not enough for some of the Republican donors like the Koch brothers. So I'll jump in with a couple of numbers for you guys also. Look, on the upside, the deficit goes down by $321 billion, keeping it real, keeping it fair. So that is part of the Congressional Budget Office's numbers as well. Now remember, Obamacare also lowered the deficit. You almost never heard about that, but it did. So that's not really the main choice that they're making. The main choice they're making is how much do we get rid of healthcare and people receiving healthcare, and how much do we charge more for healthcare in return for what? In return for tax cuts for the rich. Which leads us to this number, according to CBO, about Medicaid, which Donald Trump said wouldn't be cut at all, not a dollar. Shockingly enough, cut more than a dollar, $772 billion in cuts in this proposal, and almost all of that going to the wealthy in tax cuts.
If we could go ahead to graphic 30, this is not getting as much discussion, but I saw a few people talking about it on Twitter. There's a lot of numbers there, don't worry about too much, but you're seeing the top numbers are for what we currently have, the premiums that you have under current law. The bottom numbers are what you would have under the Senate bill. And what you're seeing there circled in red is the amount a 64-year-old and somebody who retires, how much they would have to pay. It's more than triple. It's more than triple, and there are some, we don't have it all in the graphics there. This is middle income, 56,000. There are people at the lower end at $24,000, $25,000 a year in income who will pay 4 times what they're paying now. And I hope that all of you watching this are so well off that you don't need to think about that. But if you are making $24,000 a year, you don't have 3 or 4 times as much money just hanging around that you can pay for your insurance premiums. But think about that there. This isn't just the people who are being thrown off their insurance. This is the people who theoretically will stay on their insurance. Going into this midterm election, the seniors, who we know love to vote, will be paying 3 or 4 times as much. That is insane. Think about the cut to your standard of living when so much more of your income has to go to that. When you could theoretically be paying half your income on your insurance premiums. They kept saying, we're gonna get premiums down, we're gonna get deductibles down, and this does the exact opposite. How many promises can you break in a single bill?
Counterpoint, John, there are no donors to Republican senators that make $24,000 a year. Okay, so
damn.
Okay, I think I win that argument, or at least the millionaire donors did. Okay, so 2 things to build off of that. Here's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out if there is such thing as a moderate Republican, because we keep getting told by the establishment press that there is. They keep talking about this Republican moderate that's going to ride to the rescue, that their cavalry's on the way, that they will not allow the Republicans to do this kind of draconian healthcare bill. I keep wondering who the hell they are and when they're going to arrive. So far, hadn't seen them yet. There's 4 Republican senators at a minimum that have objected to this bill. They all think it is too liberal. Oh my God. So 22 million, not enough. $770 billion cut from Medicaid, not enough. Nearly $800 billion in tax cuts to the rich, not enough. Okay, so where the hell are the so-called moderate Republicans?
We got some quotes for you that'll.
Okay, so
it's something.
Okay, so if the Republicans pass some version of this bill, maybe tweaks around the edges, but this, in essence, this bill, you'll know that there is no such thing as a moderate Republican. It's just an establishment press gimmick to make you think that there's balance in the country. There's no balance, okay? Yeah. Because again, we always tell you ahead of time, we don't Monday morning quarterback it. Maybe the moderate Republicans, all they need is 3 to kill the bill, 3. If 3 moderate Republicans at a national level exist, this bill will not happen, okay? Yeah. So we're gonna find out, are there 3 moderate Republicans in the whole country? In the whole country, again, at the national level. So why does the press, that is so-called liberal media, wanna prop up this BS talking point about all these swarms of moderate Republicans? Yeah. So that question will be answered. I won't answer it. The Republican Party will answer it. They'll answer it whether they pass this bill or not. And then the last thing we're gonna find out is if they do pass it, is it true what Donald Trump said, that he could shoot somebody on 5th Avenue and get away with it? Because
shoot 22 million people?
Yeah, now I don't want to go that far, but can you take healthcare away from and increase the cost of healthcare and deliver less healthcare for the people who still have it? And do it to senior citizens on a grotesque level, the ones who vote the most, and still get away with it? So we'll have our answer about
and gerrymandering, and
we're gonna and all those political ads. So we're gonna have our answers about the Republican Party in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and then we're gonna have our answers about Republican voters perhaps in 2018. Yeah. So this is momentous, and we'll decide many things. You don't like ads? Well, I hear you, brother. Did you know that you can become a Young Turks member, get the full 2-hour show every day on demand, plus so many other network shows, all ad-free for just $10 a month? Give it a shot right now, TYTnetwork.com/join.